Crazy 48 hours upon us. Welcome to Nation's Voice Star. My name is Angelo. Why did I say crazy 48 hours? They are trying times for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He might not actually escape the American security agencies that want to release or that are already on the verge of releasing his criminal records. Yes, 2,500 pages worth of documents. So he might not actually enjoy the next 48 hours that will befall him. Okay. Now, I would like to urge you to brace yourselves because the next update I'm bringing to your doorsteps is quite shocking. All right. I told you that we are going to follow on the tabs and information that has the fact that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu was actually paid. Yes, he was actually paid some sum of money for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to emerge as the duly elected president during the February 25th general elections. Now, we have a grip on that news, and we also have the proof and evidence of transactions that Professor Mahmoud, undertook or took part in order to announce Bola Tinubu president. All right. Remember that on the 25th day of February 2023, there was an election, and after the elections, people complained over irregularities in the electoral process. People complained over the fact that the electoral election results, especially the presidential election results, were not transmitted and uploaded to the IREF on time, which led to lots of discrepancies and which actually emerged or led to the emergence of Bola Tinubu, fraudulent emergence of Bola Tinubu, which people believe so much that INEC must have taken part in with almost a great part to play. So this is what we are going to be discussing in a few moments from now. And it has been confirmed that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu actually took sums of money or lots of amounts of money from Bola Ahmed Tinubu in order to sell Nigeria. Now, according to our sources, we had to go far. We had to go far. You remember the meeting in France? You remember when Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola, was seen on the wheelchair? You remember? You remember the recent, the incessant journeys and trips to France by Bola Ahmed Tinubu during that time? Yes, I told you everything will fall in place, and finally everything has fallen in place. Now, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the chairman of INEC, is actually one of the richest civil servants we have around. Okay, he's one of the most, wealthy. He's one of the wealthiest civil servants in Nigeria, of course, from his bank account, and that began immediately after the elections, courtesy of the 2023 general elections, specifically the presidential and gubernatorial elections. Yakubu Mahmoud made huge amounts of money from that. He is married, of course, we know him, with wives and children, but he succeeded in shielding them from the public domain for fear of the unknown. So he knows what he has done, right? Now, the truth is, we're going to be uncovering the processes that were involved in transfer of funds from one person to another, from one account to another, that made us believe, and with the evidences and proofs, that Professor Mahmoud Yakubu took a bribe to announce Bola Tinubu as president. In a bid to renew his second 5-year as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, which expired on 21st of October 2015, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu allegedly spent 3 billion naira in order for him to retain his seat as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. He also spent 2 billion naira to the former Nigerian Senate President, Ahmad Lawan. That was what he gave Ahmad Lawan to help him lobby President Buhari, which he did in order for him to retain his seat as INEC chairman. He also spent another 1 billion naira to another group in order for him to retain his seat as the INEC chairman. So, in all, he spent 3 billion naira for him to sit on that seat for the next 5 years. and this is the reason why he had the chance to partake in the next general elections. He wanted to cash out from the next general elections. That was why he had to pay a whooping sum of 3 billion naira for him to retain his seat as INEC chairman. These funds that were paid by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu were deployed allegedly via a director in INEC who was in charge of strategic departments. Right now, this particular director was not exposed, his name was not known, but due to the huge sum involved, the director that was not named in this transaction, who is a contractor to the commission, that is one Mr. Muhammad Sani Musa, that is his name. I had to name him because we are trying to make matters clear here. Muhammad Sani Musa, who was a senator from Niger State, responsible for the printing of the INEC ballot papers used for off-site elections under a company, Activate Technologies. This was the name of that company that was involved in this huge transaction. Okay, now I'm going to be revealing to you in a second how Professor Mahmoud Yakubu received the money that was paid to him by Bola Ahmed Tinubu through his son's account. You know, these people have their own way of receiving money so as not to be suspected. So, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu allegedly received money through his son's account, Naim M. Yakubu. That's the name of his son. Now, how Professor Mahmoud Yakubu received that amount of money through his son's account is what we're going to be exposing now. How he received this money through his son, Naim M. Yakubu, an equivalent of over $100 million from the Chagori Group on behalf of Bola Ahmed Tinubu into his son, Naim Yakubu's HSBC account. This is what I'm going to be revealing to you. Now, if you know the Chagori Group so well, the Chagori Group is an Indian construction company owned by one Mr. Gilbert Chagori, who is also a very close crony and ally of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is so close to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he has impacted so well in Bola Ahmed Tinubu's election process and election career, or his ambition to become president, that he was awarded contracts in Nigeria for road constructions as a sort of reward for what he has done so far. In fact, sources revealed that he is the contractor in charge of the Lagos-Calabar Expressway. Presently, yes, Gilbert Chagori. Now, if you know Gilbert Chagori so well and the Chagori Group and their relationship with Tinubu, who is the president now, you will know why they played a very vital role during Bola Tinubu's treatment in Paris in that period, during the 2023 election period. Remember when Bola Tinubu traveled immediately after the elections to France? They didn't tell anybody. You remember? All right. Gilbert Chagori and the Chagori Group are one of the most efficient cronies of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They are closest confidants of the cartel of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cohorts. All right. And that particular group, of course, you know how much damage they have caused to Nigeria over time. Now, you would wonder why they chose Chagori Group for the disbursement of this election funds, all right, to INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu and his son Naim Yakubu. Why did they choose the Chagori Group? The Chagori Group is a company, and when you disburse money through these groups, nobody would suspect any foul play, all right? That was why Gilbert Chagori's company, the Chagori Group, was used or was chosen to be the third party in the disbursement of these funds to Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's account through his son Naim M. Yakubu. All right. Now, these funds were deposited allegedly on the 2nd and 3rd of February 2023, and they were stashed into Naim M. Yakubu's account. his HSBC account in Paris. Now, next I'm going to be displaying the details of that account. But before I explain and expose the details of that account, I would love to say categorically here that immediately after the transfer of that money to Naim M. Yakubu's account, that is a son to Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, Naim's fortunes changed immediately. And of course, you can see from the photos how he has transformed from his look and his lifestyle. Although currently it has been reported that he is in a running battle with his father, who only received about $60 million, out of which he is believed to have used $50 million to settle the other INEC national commissioners. That is talking about Festus Okoye and the rest of them. Alright. Now, from the lifestyle Naim M. Yakubu has been living ever since he received those payments, no one will believe that he doesn't have a job, and no one will also believe that his father, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, is just an ordinary civil servant whose monthly salary is less than $2,000. Alright, yes, and that is so unheard of. Now, next on your screen, as you can see, is the copy of the slip of transaction where the $100 million was paid to Professor Mahmoud Yakubu through his son Naim M. Yakubu's account. As you can see, the place marked red showed that the transaction was successfully processed at 9:50 Central European Time on the 2nd day of March, on the 3rd day of February, I beg your pardon, 2023. You could see the sender of that amount of money from the slip, from the bank slip, is Chaguri Group, 800 Boylston Street, Suite 1410. That is the address. Account number was shown there, and then the beneficiary is Naim M. Yakubu, which is account number, and then the amount was 94.5 million euros. That was the amount. All right, the reference number is there. The charge amount of the transaction was $6,563. All right, now that is the proof of payment of that particular transaction. Next on your screen, I would like to be very detailed about this so that you will know that we really have lots of evidences on Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Next on your screen, you can see is a proof of incoming payment notification from the same bank, HSBC. All right, yeah, you have seen the notification telling about or talking about or showing proof of payment. It is written there, the account holder is Naim Mahmoud Yakubu, and it says from the bank statement you have an incoming payment. The Chaguri Group made an online funds transfer to your online account. The details of this transaction are shown below. As you can see, date and time is 3rd February 2023 at 9:54 a.m. Amount was 94.5 million euros. That is 94,530,000 euros. Description was payment. You can see all details are in this particular slip from the HSBC Continental Europe Bank in Europe. All right. Yes, these are the proofs that will show you that Naim M. Yakubu actually took payments from the Chakuri Group on behalf of his father in order to perfect the plan of the 2023 general elections by allowing Bola Tinubu to emerge as president-elect of Nigeria. All right. So these are proofs to really show you that yes, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu has been confirmed to be a fraudster. He has been confirmed to be someone who actually sold Nigeria for just that amount of money. So 100 million euros or dollars, I beg your pardon, was the amount that he needed to sell Nigeria off. All right. So all said and done, you can now confirm that Yakubu Mahmoud has put Nigeria in a mess. All right. If he conducted a free and fair elections by following his own rules and guidelines, which he stipulated with his own commission, maybe we would be happy with our choices. All right. But it has been confirmed now that he received amounts of money through his son, Naim M. Yakubu. it is so sad because he never thought that we would have a grip on this information. But wow, you have underestimated the youth in Nigeria. You have underestimated the tech, the tech experts in Nigeria. You have underestimated the forensic experts in Nigeria. Well, you have been exposed, and we'll see what you will make of this. That is that on that particular update. I have something different. Now there has been controversies over the fact that judges have received lots of bribes from politicians in order to announce them victorious at various tribunals, the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court respectively, especially when it comes to electoral matters. Okay, but Professor Mahmoud Yakubu and the tribunal at the Court of Appeal and even the Supreme Court have shown us that with the right amount of money, you can as well buy the judiciary in Nigeria. So judges actually pay the same bills that politicians pay, hence the reason why they have to make ends meet in order to meet up with lots of needs they have from themselves and their families, despite the stipend or the small amounts of money they receive as salaries. So speaking about this and the reasons why judges collect the bribes from politicians, I have Toby Soni. Toby Soni is an Arise Judiciary editor. He has come to, speak and explain why he thinks that judges always attempt or are always tempted to receive lots of money from politicians as bribes. All right. Well, he has to speak directly and fearlessly, because when it comes to such cases, I think we need to revitalize judiciary in Nigeria so as to make them earn more. Please stay tuned for Toby Soni.
Yeah, he raised some very vital issues. Three of them: one, the remuneration, then that the take home. I mean, most people are not surprised if you are very close to the judiciary that the chief registrar earns more than a justice of the Supreme Court. This has been the case, and the body of bench, then led by Chief Wole Olanipeku, made frantic effort to persuade the former president, President Muhammadu Buhari then, to increase the salary of judges, but they couldn't push it through before he left. It's very correct. The salary of judges are poor, but to a larger extent, some of the problem, in my view, they are self-inflicted.
How?
Yeah, judges have opportunity to ask for more salary at their own level, but sometimes they waited for outsiders to argue their case for them. I understand. It's not very common with the judiciary. They are not supposed to be, to be hard. But when your welfare is involved, I'm not sure there is any law that stops them from, asking for a better remuneration.
And again, does it look like a deliberate attempt? Because now speaking generally, once you have such a discomforting salary that is not enough, you're prone to being influenced somehow. This doesn't actually...
Well, you can't rule it out, because the judges go to the same markets politicians go, so they pay rent, they send children to school, they need to pay school fees.
Yeah.
If the salary isn't going to cover all this, they're going to look elsewhere to make the money. We cannot pretend about it. We cannot pretend that there is no corruption in the judiciary, and whether or not low salary is one of the factors causing it, we have to think it's possible, though in the evidence of absence of empirical facts, we still give them the benefit of the doubt. But no doubt about it, you made a very valid point. If your salary is low, you look for a way to augment it. So how do judges augment their salary?
Okay, Toby Soni is there. He has explained categorically why he thinks the judiciary and the judges always fall for bribes. Their salaries are small, so when they hear any amount of money that can actually tingle the ears or make the ears shake, they would go for it. I think the federal government should review the salaries of the judiciary. If at all what Bola Tinubu said some weeks ago is anything to go by, that means he would actually go far in increasing or having a salary review for the judiciary, which will also help them not to fall for such tricks again of receiving big amounts of money in order to announce somebody victorious at the courts, especially as it has to do with election matters. Finally, John Cardinal Onayekon, who is a Christian cleric and a Catholic cardinal, has reacted to the judgment of the Supreme Court. Well, he cited examples and reasons why the court shouldn't be a final decider of elections. Please stay tuned for John Cardinal Onayekon.
Has made it very clear that under whatever circumstances, we should keep our heads high. Keep our heads high. Refuse to be told that this is Nigeria, meaning this is a place where nothing works. We should refuse to agree that this is a country where certificates are forged and it is okay. We should refuse to accept a situation where elections are rigged and you are told to go to court. These things have consequence. These things have consequence. Jesus says, you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. You can't run a nation well if we do not respect the truth. If we keep pretending that we can play games, cut corners, bring in brilliant lawyers to turn black to white and white to black, the reality will still be there. And when right now we are still in the midst of the election, and it is not about the politicians or the candidates, it's about us, about Nigerians. It is we who went to vote. And if we do not have good election, you can't have a government that enjoys our confidence and our trust. Even angels cannot rule a nation where there is no trust. So whoever claims to be ruling us now should know that we need to have the trust of the people. The question before us is, how do we manage that the people may have trust in their government? A lot has to be done by those who claim to be ruling us, those who say we have elected them. They cannot just sit there and expect that just things will work normally. What will they do? I don't know. But if they ask my suggestion, I will say they should accept the reality on ground. Accept that they have a heavy trust deficit. And nothing wrong with admitting that things when it didn't go so well. When I hear Professor Mahmoud on television, even yesterday, telling us that everything went perfectly well in January, I shed tears. He knows he was not telling the truth. If we don't tell the truth, we will not move forward. I'm a religious person, and I keep praying to God to forgive us and to show us the truth. Because we can, if we tell the truth, things will move fast. Nigerians are wonderful. And I still hope that things will move fast. Whatever judges may decide, whatever courts may say, at the end of the day, the truth will make us free.
Okay, Cardinal Onayekon there, and he tried to make his points, and his points were clear. All right, judges should also be on guard, because from now on it may not be business as usual. All right, so he has reiterated, John Cardinal Onayekon has reiterated, alongside other points that he made in that video, why the court shouldn't be the final decider of elections. I think that's a very, very fair opinion to give out to the public. Thank you so much. Before I call it quits, I would love to urge you to like our videos, share them. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you're watching me for the first time, please tap the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you get to see me firsthand and first when I drop an information. See you next time. Bye.